Good morning, families, collaborators, and friends. On behalf of the Crawford Central School District, Allegheny College, and Meadville Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Incorporated, welcome to our year-end brunch. This is an opportunity to learn what we have been doing for the past 5 weeks. It has indeed been a summer blast. Be sure to look at the exhibit on your right that captures some of the happenings. We will begin our program with the invocation by Mrs. Rose M. Hilliard, who has been a collaborator for several years. Her inspiration has meant a great deal to students and parents. Mrs. Hilliard.
Thank you, Maria. As I give the invocation, just think on all the hard work that the students have put into it this year. We pray for our students today and lift them before you. We thank you so much for these we love and for the work you are continuing to do in their lives. They are a gift to us and many others. And during this season of new beginnings, we ask that you would make their way clear. We ask that you would keep their footsteps firm and remind them that you are with them always. May they sense the freshness of your spirit over their lives in amazing ways. May they be strengthened, instilled with hope for the new roads in which you have in store for them. We release our children straight into your tender care because we know that's the best place they could ever be. We thank you for all you have in store for this day, for this year, and for their lives. We pray for their protection, for your covering, that you would surround their lives with a shield. We ask that you would help them to live aware in a dark world and keep harm and evil far away. We ask that you would hide them in the safety of your powerful presence. Our world right now is currently anxious, fearful, and uncertain. We want our students filled with courage and strength so that they may be a light to their friends and neighbors in this uncertain time. We ask for your wisdom and clear direction over their lives, that you would give them understanding, that your timing is perfect, that you would direct their steps, and that your plans for them would prosper, that every place that you have determined for them to walk would be paved clear. We ask that you open doors that need to be opened and close every one that needs to be shut tight. Allow every gift and every treasure that you have placed inside their lives to grow, to flourish, to bring you glory. We ask that you would remind them every day how much you love them, and that they would find security and confidence fully in you, knowing that you are trustworthy and true. Teach them your ways and fill the students with unquenchable desire to learn and move forward. Give them a compassionate spirit. We pray that you would surround them with friends and leaders who would challenge to press you closer. We ask for your peace to cover them. We ask for laughter and joy to fill their days. We pray that you give them boldness and courage to face them challenges set before them right now in this hard, tough time and in the future. We ask that you give them confidence. Raise up greatness in their lives and greatness in this generation, willing to stand strong and true and passionate, believing that you have designed them for purpose and good works. And that as what you have planned, that you prepare them for what they are going into the world to do. Amen. Maria.
Thank you, Mrs. Hilliard. We appreciate your work in our country to create safe spaces for our parents and us. Now it's time to view the exhibits that allow you to learn more about our summer. We will now continue our program. Just remember to feel free to return to the serving table if you wish. Certainly during the summer, the staff has memories and thoughts about the program. Mr. Theodore Watts, Jr., our drama teacher, will share his thoughts about the program. Mr. Watts.
Thank you, Maria. How's everybody doing? Good? All right. Welcome. Indeed, we have a lot of reflections from this summer. It's been a wonderful summer, and it's gone the staff will agree, it's gone very, very fast. As soon as we got to work and started doing field trips and drama and robotics and all sorts of things, the time just flew by, and the kids have been great. It's been really fabulous. So first and foremost, I'll start with my own. When I first had this opportunity, I said, yeah, that sounds really fun. And what was very special to me in particular was that when I started doing drama in theater, I was in 8th grade. Okay, so that was the first thing that I had ever done. I was in a production of Our Town, and I said 2 things, I think. I think I was like, oh, he's over there. I don't know, I said something like that. Baseball player number 2. That was my first role. So it was really nice to see all of these wonderful young people get involved and embrace this crazy thing, and me sticking a camera in their face and being like, oh, we're gonna act on camera, we're gonna shoot all of these scenes. And all of them participating. And I'll expand on that when I talk about drama, but behind the camera, on camera, and it was just really nice to come back to I went to school here, I graduated from Meadville High School, I went to the junior high downtown, so it was really wonderful to have that experience here for myself, and I just really appreciated all of the hard work and the leadership. I'm gonna share some of the reflections from some of the administrative staff and other teachers. I'm going to start with Mr. Harrison Dixon. I'm going to read exactly what he said because it's so, what he wrote for me, because it is so on point and pure and wonderful. So forgive me for, I had the LASIK, but still. Looking back on our 5-week classes, I've watched in that brief time so many great moments with you. I watched the class overall gain so much confidence in their individual abilities, witness leadership qualities take form, and overall team play skills grow within the entire class. It gave me so much pleasure and pride to see the personalities flourish even when we had obstacles to overcome. As we learned together, we grew together, and again, I cannot express the gratitude it gave me teaching each of you. Ruth, Maria, Jaden, and Ariana, you have shown amazing qualities of strength and determination. What young ladies you have the potential in becoming. Dorian, Charlie, Phoenix. Your leadership and focus is becoming unmatched. Keep pushing each day. Keith and Sean, Nick, your perseverance and confidence has grown and will continue to do so long as you always remember to believe in yourselves. Kalani, Kamaya, Sarah, you have tremendous compassion and drive. Please remember to find that in everything you do. And you will no doubt continue to be amazing people. Tamari, Natasha, Casey, and Rebecca. You each have a great ability to lead and to listen. It is always important to know which skill set is appropriate and the time to use that strength. You are mastering these qualities, and given time, I'm confident that these traits will shine in your individual moments of life. Well put. Very well put. And I'm charged here to share reflections on on behalf of all of the staff, and Dr. Dixon also shared some wonderful reflections too, and she spoke for her and Mrs. Smith and said she's very much enjoying the countless retirees who are working with young people and also learning a great deal from them, and we've all, the whole staff, administrative and teaching staff, I've learned a great deal from the Alpha Summer Class. So we can't thank you enough for that. And that this is the dream that Dr. King spoke about. This is what it was all about. And I thought that was a wonderfully, wonderfully appropriate and poignant statement. having us all of us having rather the opportunity to work together with students who enjoy working together themselves and supporting one another and respect their parents and take such great joy in collaborating and embracing what we have to offer them from our respective fields. Okay. It was also wonderful to have, such a wonderful staff, collaboration. I've known Dr. Dixon for many, many years, wonderful friends with my father, and I grew up with Harrison, youth soccer. But we've been around each other for a long time, and it's really nice to reconnect and collaborate in that way. Want to thank, as a whole, Principal Lynch and staff, all of the bus drivers who took us to Presque Isle and Franklin and all of these cool stops for the watershed, which I'll share their thoughts too. The nutrition staff, thank you so much for this wonderful lunch and all of the lunches. It's been very, very wonderful. And it was also super helpful to have a nurse on staff for this summer, for those just in case moments. And finally, speaking for the watersheds, sharing their thoughts, Dr. Kazerski and her wonderful assistant, Caitlin, who couldn't be here today, but took the students on some really amazing field trips, where I personally witnessed yesterday, especially we witnessed them learning so much. But they wanted to share that they enjoyed working with the students to study their watershed and really get to know, on a much deeper level, no pun intended, Mill Run and French Creek. It is high now. Wow, the water is really high. It was pretty cool yesterday. And they're really inspired by the fact that they believe that all of the students this year will really expand on their curiosity about nature and wildlife, and that will continue to grow as they evolve. So I want to thank the students. I want to thank everybody for coming, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Watts. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Chris Seeley, Chairman of the Advisory Board for our program. Mr. Seeley is the Crawford County Auditor. Mr. Seeley.
I appreciate that. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Had I known that I was going to follow Teddy Watts, I probably would have called in sick today. But it's good to see you back in town, Ted. It really is. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be with you today, and I look forward to the program we have ahead and the exhibits that we've seen this morning so far. Thank you, Dr. Dixon, for inviting me to make some brief remarks, and special thanks to Ruth Wheeler for inviting me to attend and be with you this morning. Ruth? Right? I didn't know who she was, but she was just this young woman with this great big smile on her face, so I assume I can put two and two together. To spend the morning with these wonderful students, students who should be very proud of yourselves, parents and families, you should be very proud of what these students have accomplished this year. As was mentioned, I'm the chair of the Program's Advisory Committee. This board provides some general guidance and assistance to the program's staff and throughout the course of the year. It's made up of numerous members from all walks of life of the Meadville community. We count among our numbers educators, ministers, behavioral specialists, and many others. There are a host of different backgrounds and experiences and expertise, and the breadth of these individuals gives us a diverse perspective on what we can bring to the program and how we can assist. But perhaps the most important aspect of what we do is that it's just one more way that the mentoring program as a program itself is really plugged into the community as a whole. One of the facets of our mentoring program that makes it so successful and so unique in our area is that it's accomplished by the efforts on so many fronts and by so many stakeholders. The school district, Allegheny College, the administration here at the Meadville Middle School, and dozens of representatives from the Meadville community at large. It's this connection to Meadville as a whole that makes our program so enriching for the students that participate. The students learn that they do more than just live in Meadville, but that they're an important part of the fabric that makes up Meadville. We have 2 Meadville City Council members with us today, showing the support that the community has for this program. It's this connection to Meadville as a whole that makes our program so enriching. By establishing their connection with their hometown so early in life, we hope that these students will become the movers and shakers that craft this city into what it will become for generations to come. They've been tasked with taking a stake in their community and making positive change as a result. And to their credit, the students have not only embraced this charge wholeheartedly, but they've taken firm, concrete steps to make it happen. As you walked in today, you may not have noticed, but as you walk out, I hope you certainly do. If you look back behind the stacks here, you'll see this large, shiny silver box that really has no earthly place being in a middle school library. But this is the official, now I have to read this because I would never get all these words correctly in a row, the official Dr. Martin Luther King Mentoring Program, Nita M. Lowy, Pennsylvania 21st Century Community Learning Center Time Capsule. We were going to print that on the side, but we just didn't have the space. This is a very exciting project that began at the beginning of this year and has since taken off with an immense amount of success. We have nearly 100 potential collaborating organizations, businesses, governments, individuals, churches throughout the community. The time capsule will capture a true snapshot of what Meadville and the world looked like in 2021. Currently, contacts throughout the Meadville area, and many of you may have heard of this already, are preparing items to submit to this time capsule. This fall, the students will not only curate and organize the community submissions that will go into the capsule, but will also include their own work, their writing, their ideas, and their hopes for what Meadville will look like 50 years from now. The capsule is tentatively scheduled. I say tentatively because we have to get official approval from the good folks sitting in the room here. To be buried at Diamond Park in October. And so if you fast forward to a date to be announced sometime in October of 2071, many of us will look very differently. The capsule will be retrieved, opened, and enjoyed by a whole new generation of Meadville residents, and hopefully many of our students will be there to see what they have crafted. And this project is just one of the many undertaken by our students through the course of the year. However, it highlights so definitively that the mentees have built a strong foundation in their lives as citizens. To the future of Meadville, they matter, and they matter more than most of us will ever know. By being so appreciative and enthusiastic about the projects such as this one, they are telling our community that they're ready, that they're invested, and that they will make Meadville an even better place in which to grow, learn, and live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having me this afternoon. This morning, thank you, students, for your incredibly hard work through this summer and this past year. It's an inspiration to all of us who work to make sure that this program is always here for you and for those who will follow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Seeley. We had an unusual surprise and pleasure this summer when we learned that our bus driver for field trips is Deputy Mayor of the City of Meadville. We also learned a lot about transportation policies from Mr. McKnight. We asked him to share his observations regarding the field trips we took to learn more about park offerings in our area. Mr. McKnight.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to say that it was more of a privilege and honor to me and for me to be asked to drive. I only got to do it on Wednesdays, but it was just amazing. The kids, I learned a lot from them. I learned and watched their desire to learn. They showed up every time I was there picking them up, and you could see the interest, the fun that they had with each other. It was like a small family, and I'm fortunate to be a part of it. The field trips were amazing. They experienced things that a lot of kids here, unfortunately, probably never will. Going to Oil Creek, which was just amazing. I happened to see an eagle in the water, but being that I'm from the older generation, me and my cell phone didn't get along good, so I got a real nice picture of me, and by the time I figured it out, the eagle was gone. We went to a 2-mile run. Beautiful park, beautiful. But it was just great to watch the kids enjoy themselves and have fun. But one of the most important things that I watched and learned is that they have a desire. they're in this program because they want to be. And they take it seriously. They have their uniforms. Going home the other day, I was listening to one of the girls talking about shining her boots, okay? And they were talking about the different polishes that they're, who does that? What kids are, most of the kids nowadays are, playing a game or something, but these kids were involved and into that. And Joe and I, we were talking about when we came up, we were fortunate enough that we had people that poured into our lives that kept us involved in music and different things. But more importantly, it made us realize that there's a world out there for them. And I believe these kids see it. I know of one that says she's going into the service. I think she'll do really well. I think all of them, whatever endeavor they're going to go into, they're going to do well. They had great leaders, good training. They had the desire. Marcus, very, very good example. This young man, he's made strides in his life already that adults are dreaming about. So they have this encouragement. And my hope is that they go out into this world, take what you learn, but bring it back here. This is home. You're our future. You're our generations that's be making decisions for this town. I love it. Bring your ideas, your skills, and your love back to Meadville. And again, I just want to say thank every one of you for just the respect, first of all, that you showed me. So we did have a couple incidents on the bus. I won't call them problems, learning incidents for both of us. More importantly, or just as important, I had to learn how to communicate to them. And they had to learn how to listen to and understand that the rules are the rules not because I'm in control, but it's because it's your safety and it's because what the state wants. And I didn't have to bring that up again. They all understood. Simple as like keeping your feet out of the aisle, and I'm quite sure they didn't understand the importance of it, but once I explained it, I didn't have that problem again. So these are the type kids that are in these programs. I would love to see them encourage other kids, their friends. I would love to see them go out into the world and come back and be a part of our community and just enjoy it. I'd like to thank Mrs. Dixon, her son, Mr. Watts, everyone else that was involved with it. Like I said, I was only the bus driver, but for me, it was one heck of an experience. And parents, if you have the time, you should go. You should really go and see what these kids are learning, and maybe you can even offer them something yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKnight. Let's now zero in on the summer blast. Following your program, Damari Mattern will tell us about Watershed STEM. Damari. All right. Thank you.
Hi, how you guys doing? Good to hear. One of our classes was watersheds with Creek Connection from Allegheny College. The first week we learned what watersheds are and how pollution on land can impact our waterways. Our program focused on the French Creek watershed. We conducted water quality monitoring on Mill Run behind the school, as well as a tributary to Mill Run between the school and the tech center. The data collected allowed us to determine the health of the streams. We measured temperature using a thermometer. Mill Run was 22.5 degrees Celsius, and the tributary was 21 degrees Celsius. We measured the pH of each stream using a color change test and matched the color to those in the box in the photo. Mill Run had a pH of 7.25 and the tributary was 7.5. We measured dissolved oxygen using a test kit. Mill Run had a low oxygen reading of 5.25 milligrams per liter, and the tributary had a little higher reading of 8 milligrams per liter. Higher oxygen levels are better for the organisms living in the water. We measured the turbidity or cloudiness of the water by using columns to compare to distilled water. Both streams had low readings. Mill Run 3.75 Jackson turbidity units. Tributary 2.5 Jackson turbidity units. We measured alkalinity, which is the ability of the stream to keep the pH levels stable, by using a test that involved color changes. Mill Run was 100 milligrams per liter, and the tributary was 123 milligrams per liter. Finally, we tested for nutrients in the streams, nitrates and phosphates. Both tests had results near zero, indicating neither are impacted by nutrients.
Thank you, Damari. We also enjoyed gardening this summer. Casey Fuller will tell us about our gardening program.
Thank you. So, we took on the garden project. Hopefully you saw it when you walked in the building. We learned about all the different types of plants in the garden and why they're there and what they are. And then there were some blueberry bushes that we had to take out that were pretty hard to take out. We had to take them out because there wasn't enough sun where they were at. But the most difficult thing we did the whole entire time was weeding. We weeded so much. We divided up this section of the garden, and with the proper tools, including a wheelbarrow, we stuck to our task. Raking, digging, wheelbarrow detail, cleanup, you name it, we probably did in the garden. Then the rain came, and it just kept coming, and our time for weeding grew shorter, but a collaborator came and helped to give us a hand. And the important thing we learned about gardening is that we learned how to work together and to keep safe around tools. We also plan today's menu eating in the garden class. Some of us will continue the garden at home. We are thankful that Mr. Lynch gave us permission to have the gardening class in that garden. It has been an enjoyable time.
Thank you, Casey. Now, Mr. Theodore Watts, Jr. will tell us about his drama class. Mr. Watts.
Thanks again. As an extension of what I was saying earlier, coming in, trying to figure out exactly what to do with drama over the course of 5 weeks, and there's a lot of directions you could go. But I said, why don't we try and film some stuff? And that meant 8 scenes. And sitting there thinking, can we film 8 scenes that they don't know, explain camera shots as standard camera shots, and get that all going and get that all edited and everything by the end of the program? And we did. And we did. The most beautiful part of all of that is, at first, as I've seen with drama and why I believe the arts are so important for education, I've seen, kids just kind of students just fall into it and just become better communicators and And you know, the advantages are you know, endless, and I could go on and on. But you know, we started filming scenes, and you know, it was good, and everybody was understanding the shots, and everything was going fantastically. And then there was one day, about a weekend, where I got a little hung up. I had a conflict, and I got to the program a little bit late. Best moment of the program for me. Well, second best. So I'm in the office, and Maria comes running in. And she says, Ruth and I have a couple of the scenes kind of staged out, and we're practicing all of the scenes, so we're ready to go whenever you're ready to go. And I was like, oh, that's the greatest thing in the world, that they're embracing this at that level. And then maybe another week later, Maria, was it another week later maybe? Yeah. Okay, another week later, I'm shooting a scene, and we were kind of crunched on time, just trying to get some things done. And Maria says, do you want me to go and set up the other scene and stage it all out? I said, yeah. And so her and Ruth did. And they set this scene in a hallway, and I said, wow, that looks really cool. They employed extras. They had the extras going here and there, and I said, I want to work for you guys. I'll work with you anytime. And the wonderful thing about it is it looked great. And so I'm looking at it creatively, and my spirit of play is now going, and I'm going, I could really use a dolly right about now to do this shot. Well, there's a janitor cart. And so we repurposed a janitor cart and did a dolly shot. And the scene that you're about to see is evidence of what they did with this program, not me, is the scene that Maria and Ruth directed, and they'd never heard of it. Some of you may have heard of it, but it's from Family Ties. And I said, you know, Family Ties, they're really, okay. But anyways, this is the scene that they directed, so this is good evidence of what we did. Thank you.
What
Sorry, next time I'll signal before I turn.
Ethan? What are you doing here?
I'm here because I want to, you know, help people.
Oh.
Teacher, did I mention that I won the McKinley Scholarship?
That's not fun. I went to Avery.
I could have won the Avery, but I thought the McKinley was a little more prestigious.
Oh, God, die hard, don't they, Ethan?
What are you talking about?
You still can't get over IP. You in the spell being the second grade.
Hey, you didn't beat me. I simply refuse to spell Democrat. Okay, thank you, Mr. Watts. Now, Mr. Dixon III will tell us about robotics and our famous summer blast drill. Mr. Dixon.
Thank you, Maria. As it was said earlier in my reflections, it was a beautiful experience for all of us, particularly like with robotics. There were some challenges. We used the Lego Boost robots that the students constructed under instruction and advisement, and Lego Boost they're amazing robots. I think they work a lot better independently, not with 17 in one room on one router and Wi-Fi. There was a lot of robot hijacking going on. You know, Mr. Dixon, mine's not working. And then, Mr. Dixon, I've got so-and-sos, and there was a lot of stuff going on. But that actually worked in favor of the valuable lesson of when things sometimes go wrong. And then we had to also learn how to update firmware and all sorts of other things. But the students learned basic coding instructions with those robots. They were able to perform various tasks through that coding. They had the opportunity to learn how certain robots in society benefit us as people, and I also showed them the adverse effect of when some robots take human jobs away. So they had an opportunity to kind of research a lot of that information and material, and ultimately, as I said, they were able to build their own robots, and now that the course is drawing to an end, they will be able to take those robots home. There are about 4 others that come in the kit that they'll also be able to build on their own at their own leisure now that they have been instructed and learned how to code. So they can spend the rest of the summer building robots and manipulating them through the house and all sorts of other things, maybe annoying siblings or whatever they want to do. As far as the drill, that was a little different. That was kind of like that fourth quarter decision. Hey, how about we do this? I've had a little bit of experience in previous employment between military and law enforcement, so I was able to devise something that would give them something for character building, team building, and personal growth and development. So basically, we did utilize some of the military-like capacities, but again, the purpose was for solid character building and learning each other, how to be strong and stand tall and proud of yourself. So being that this was the first class that I'd worked with, their unit was the Alpha unit. So what does Alpha necessarily mean? Alpha is to be the first. It's to dominate and to exhibit strength. You lead and you set the tone and the example of what is to follow.
Attention! Dress right! Dress! Left. Left, right. Alpha! Hey! Hey! Alpha squad! Alpha squad! Believe this dream! Believe this dream! All the way! All the way! Hey! Hey! Alpha squad! Alpha squad! We lead! We lead! Extreme! Extreme! Heads on high! Heads on high! Alpha squad! Platoon! Hold!
Left hand up.
Alpha!
2021 Bulldogs! We are the dream!
Ball out.
2021 Bulldogs! We are the dream!
You are the Alpha class. I challenge you from this day forward to always lead by example and to set the tone for those who follow you. You will always hold a special place in my heart, and I am so very proud of each of you. Now in life, we only get but one opportunity, one chance to make our mark. Always give your very best, and remember that we only walk through this way but once. So when things are good, embrace it. When things are difficult, face it. Because our character is not measured accurately by the stories that others tell about us from what they see. The true weight and measure of your character is what you do when no one else is watching. So for the last time, Alpha class, stand up.
Alpha!
2021 Bulldogs! We are the dream!
As you were.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Now, Natasha Mauser will share her story that she wrote in English communication class, which was taught by Nancy Smith.
Hello, I'm Natasha Mauser, and the story I've written today is called When the Glasses Are Put On. Molly was a very lovely girl, but she had one problem. She was blind. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Waterchuck, tried countless things to help Molly, but nothing worked. The only thing that made her happy was the garden in her backyard. It was filled with lush grass and exotic flowers. One day when Molly was out in the garden, her parents came up to her. "Molly," said her father. "Yes, father," said Molly, getting up. Her mother sighed and spoke. "We found glasses that can help you see," murmured Mrs. Waterchuck. "That's great news," said Molly, jumping for joy. Molly put the glasses on, and her mouth dropped. Her parents were evil robots. "We must kill you," muttered her father in a robotic tone. Molly scrambled away. She could hear her parents marching after her. Molly stumbled over a rock. Oh no, this is it, Molly thought. She closed her eyes, and when she opened them, she was lying in a hospital bed with lots of people crowded around her. Some people were cheering, and others were crying. "What's going on?" asked Molly. "You have been in a coma for 5 years," said the doctor.
Thank you, Natasha, for that great story. All right. We can't believe how quickly these 5 weeks have gone by. Let's again applaud those who described our experience. We have now come to the portion of the program that we as students know little about. So, in great anticipation, I turn the mic over to Mr. Joseph Galbo III, Vice President of Meadville Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Board. Mrs. Lois Galbo is a member of the advisory board, and she works for Human Services of Crawford County. She was our summer celebrity speaker. Mr. and Mrs. Galbo will present the awards. Mr. and Mrs. Galbo.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope I can live up to the faith that has been bestowed upon me by knowing something about what we're doing right now. I believe that I do. Dr. Dixon, I believe that these awards are in order back there. Is that correct?
Yes, those are the last ones to be given.
Those are the last ones. So these would be, so we have assistants here at the front table that will be able to help with this, which is spectacular. As Deputy Mayor McKnight alluded, I'll tell you one thing from an old television guy: never have a cell phone in your pocket when you're near a wireless mic. So that's just my tip from me to you. In talking to Deputy Mayor McKnight, we were kind of taking a stroll down memory lane. And we had some very similar mentors. We're close in age. He looks substantially younger than I do. But from that standpoint, there were two influences that both of us had that kind of helped to set our paths in life as to how we basically learned and conducted ourselves. One of them was Paul McCandless, who was a music director in Meadville for many, many years. The other shared influence that we had was Cootie Harris. And Cootie Harris had performed with Lionel Hampton, and we both had the opportunity to be able to perform with him at very early ages. And were able to get something that most individuals certainly not have the opportunity to do. But both Mr. McCandless and Mr. Harris took the time to take young individuals at a point in their life that we didn't know, they didn't know where we would go, and took the time to be able to teach us what they knew. And then similarly, I had an experience with a gentleman that the Meadville community was very fortunate to have by the name of Floyd Williams, who had played with Duke Ellington. And when I was a young person, about 15 or 16 years of age, happened to be up at Allegheny taking a bass lesson, and he knocked on the door of the practice room that I was in and asked me to join a bebop band. I didn't know what bebop was at that time, and I learned and treasured it from that moment forward. And at that point in my life, 50-some years later, playing with symphony orchestras and everything else, playing in that bebop group with Floyd Williams was probably the most wonderful and special musical highlight that I had in my entire life. So from that aspect, I had these individuals, talented individuals, that took their time to work with me, a poor kid from out on a dirt road on Cotton Road in Vernon Township, and was able to basically work with me the same as they work with other students to be able to do that. So when the point came for me to be able to do that, and I see young Mr. Watts here, who, like many of you, who, as he alluded to, that there were people that took charge and were able to learn about directing and take the reins up, that's exactly what Ted did. And from that standpoint, I was able to work with him at the Academy Theater when he was in high school. And now the tradition carries on at this point. And the common denominator being we all came back to Meadville and were able to help this community grow in the same way that people helped us to be able to grow. And that's how the circle remains unbroken at this point. And so towards this end, we are going to announce the awards for the Summer Blast to acknowledge all the hard work that you have done and the fact that it is appreciated. And we hope that you learned something from this program. And we in turn, as Deputy Mayor McKnight alluded, we've learned so much from you that we hope that the situation was mutual. So towards that end, for Artist in Residence, we have Rebecca Muser and Phoenix Snook. Would you please come forward? We'll get some awards for you.
Congratulations. We have something for you.
Congratulations.
The next award will be for Writer in Residence. And that goes to Kalia Manning. The next award for Watershed goes to Dorian Hoffman. Dorian?
Nice part in the play, too.
Good job. Good job.
The next, we witnessed their talents just in the video presentation we saw just earlier for Drill Team. Damari Mattern, Ariana Gabriel Haycraft, Jaden Robinson, and Phoenix Snook. Come forward, please.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Nice job. Congratulations. Congratulations again.
The next awards are for drama. They go to Keithan Arnold, Maria McGill Herrera, and Ruth Wheeler. Please come forward.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The next awards for English communication go again to Ariana Haycraft, Natasha Mauser, and Ruth Wheeler. Ruth, might as well hang around.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
The next awards for robotics, and we saw some impressive displays there. Jaden Robinson, Ruth Wheeler, Keithan Arnold, and Charles Frey III.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Ruth, probably don't go anywhere from that. Oh, congratulations.
And this is part of the fitness project also that the mentoring program has been involved in. Next up, reflections. Ruth Wheeler, Ariana Haycraft, Mario McGill Herrera, Jaden Robinson, Natasha Mauser, Rebecca Rose Muser, and Damari Mattern. Please come forward.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
I have Mario.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh, I'm sorry. Congratulations.
Next up will be Leadership Award, and that would be for Maria McGill Herrera, Jaden Robinson, and Damari Mattern. Come forward, please.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
The next awards are tough ones to get. I will tell you that. I didn't come close to it in school, but I admire those that did. Perfect attendance. And the teachers were grateful, I think, in my respect. Sean Barr, Casey Fuller, Jaden Robinson, Ruth Wheeler, Charles Thomas DeFrey III, Damari Mattern, Phoenix Snook, and Natasha Moser. Please come forward.
Congratulations. 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 Congratulations.
We can help you get those.
I was going to say, me neither.
No problem. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for the hardest working presentation team on earth, Mr. Dixon and Mr. Watts. And also my lovely bride Lois here too. Now, the Dr. King Award. And this is the highest award with the program, and it is a difficult choice to make. However, these students were observed to the most highly exhibit the ideals of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Sarah Vasquez and Ruth Wheeler, please come forward. Oh, did we have some, did I miss? Well. In error.
You're such a sweetheart.
There was one more name.
Oh, there's one more name?
Yeah, there's an error from the trophy shop. So.
Oh.
So you're supposed to get that. So we'll get yours. Okay.
And there's this one too? And we have one more award here too. Mr. Dixon, can I see that? Yes, you can. Yeah, hold it right. That's there. We got it. Jaden Lynn Robinson, please come forward.
Shake hands, please.
It's tradition. Okay. All right. Now. Now we're coming up to the end of our program, well, at least the presentation part of the program. Okay. And I think that I have maybe the assistance of our esteemed auditor, Chris Seeley. I play in a band with him, and I went up on his name. And so we're going to announce the certificate of completion on behalf of the Meadville Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund, Crawford Central School District, and Allegheny College. In addition, Each student will receive special shoelaces, a flash drive from Mr. Watts, where students will see the scenes that they reviewed, practiced and taped, T-shirts from Professor Kitazinski in Watershed and Mr. Dixon in partnership with Mr. John Amato and Son, who was able to get each student a drill outfit. Now, these awards, and these are on the bookshelves, and we're going to trust our good friend here, Mr. Seeley, and I'm going to name these awards there. So from this standpoint, would it make sense for...
The students will come over and get them.
Oh, okay, so the students will come this way here and shake hands and be able to get them. Okay. All right, so here we go. Nicholas Allister, please come forward around here and then... Congratulations. Keithan Arnold.
Mr. Seeley, you give the whole package. I'm so sorry. That's okay.
Where would we be without Dr. Dixon?
That's right. Thank you. Congratulations, Keithan. Sean Barr. Maybe we could have the students line up over here on this side here, and we'll be able to call the names up a little bit. So we'd have all the students, or no, I guess we'll just keep going. We'll just keep going this way. Charles Frey III. Casey Fuller. Ariana Haycraft. Dorian Hoffman. Kalia Manning. Kamora Manning. Congratulations. Damari Mattern. Congratulations. Congratulations. Maria McGill Herrera. Natasha Mazur. Rebecca Moser. Jaden Robinson. Phoenix E. Snook. Congratulations. Sarah Vasquez. And finally, Ruth Wheeler. Congratulations. Come forward. How about a big round of applause for all of them, folks? Congratulations. Congratulations. And how about a round of applause for the second hardest working man in the presentation industry, Mr. Chris Seeley. And I believe now I yield the floor to Kamara Manning, who's going to do a presentation to the parents. Kamara?
We want to thank our parents for your support of the program and for helping us get up in the mornings and catch the bus here. Thank you for enrolling us in the program. It has been fun to learn. We give you a memory gift to keep. It is a little stand that says "Love Grows Here." Will each of my classmates give your parents this gift? By just lining up over here.
Are they named?
No, they're not named. They're the same thing.
Got it. I can help you.
You can take it.
Thank you.
One.
And one for the books.
And Ruth. Again, thank you, parents.
Thank you, Kimora, and my other classmates. It means a great deal to we students in the Meadville Area Middle School that there's a principal who is interested in our well-being. It was wonderful that he was here all summer. He will make acknowledgments to those who helped make this enrichment project-based program a success. Mr. Lynch.
Thank you, Maria. First of all, as principal and leader of the Meadville Area Middle School, I would just like to commend all the parents, and I know that you're probably going to get acknowledged again, but I just want to thank you for your dedication, your support, and genuine interest in your son or daughter's educational career, not only during the school year, but in addition to the summer program and the MLK program. It's a huge commitment, and you have done that and backed and supported your loved one, and I just can't thank you enough. And I also want to extend congratulations and fantastic job to all the students who attended this summer. And I know the parents know this, but I know with Armstrong and the viewers out there, these students come every day, Monday through Thursday, for 5 weeks, correct? From 8 to 2 o'clock. That is quite a bit of time and a huge commitment on their behalf. And I just want to extend congratulations, great job, and thank you for your commitment, support, and dedication to this MLK program. I have the privilege to acknowledge people who make this whole entire program happen and who've had a part in this. As mentioned earlier, I think Mr. Galbo had mentioned all the stakeholders and the people within the community, even for our, what are we burying? Time capsule. Thank you. That we will be burying. Thank you. But there are so many people who make this program the success and the program that it is, and we just can't thank you enough. And there was no real order to this list, but I just want to start first with Dr. Dixon. If you'd please stand. I've said it 100 times, her commitment, her dedication, loyalty to this program and to what she does. She puts 100% of her heart and soul into this. And this was the first summer that we had the program. And I know that she was a little bit nervous going into it, getting curriculum and things prepared. But I think today is the end result of all the fruits of her labor and the hard work of others who supported her in this endeavor. And I just can't thank you enough for all that you've done and the wonderful job that you did with the students this summer. So thank you. So at this time, I'm going to call others, and some have already been mentioned, but please stand so that everyone can see who you are. Larry McKnight, Deputy Mayor of the City of Meadville. And you said I was just their bus driver. I just want to elaborate on that, because I know you know how important it is, but I also want everybody else to know our bus drivers and everybody that's involved with any of our kids are an important cog in the wheel to all this. So you're more than that. You were more than a bus driver to those kids. You were a mentor, you were a leader, and still driving that bus and keeping them above all safe. Thank you. Mr. Chris Seeley, who gave wonderful remarks. He's the chair of the advisory committee and Crawford County Auditor, and a huge part of our Time capsule. I was not present when the time capsule was brought in. My assistant principal was here. And I guess there's a lot to that time capsule as far as argon and different things so that they can preserve the things that you put into it. It isn't just as simple as throw it in and it's going to be preserved. That's not the case. They pull all the oxygen out, and there's all kinds of little Allen screws on there. So it'll be an interesting endeavor when they do this. Mr. Joe Galbo, Vice President of Meadville Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Board and Crawford County Tax Assessor. And as he referred to her, his lovely bride, Miss Lois Galbo, member of the Advisory Committee, Crawford County Human Services. Miss Shayna Morrison, External Evaluator. She had to leave but was here, and we can't thank her enough for all that she does. Mr. Joe Barnhart, Director of Systems of Care. I know he's back at table number 18. Mrs. Rose M. Hilliard, Medical Advocate and Women's Services Incorporated. These gentlemen and others, ladies as well, work tirelessly in this program. I thought Mr. Watts was going to share an experience that he had with making sure that he had all of his clearances and things in. So I was thankful that he didn't share it because it's a process and it's not simple. And so that's just one step of all these people who are a part of the program is getting all their clearances and getting these things in. And there's a fee to that. And these people have willingly done that, and we can't thank you enough. And thank you for your involvement. Our community involvement with our students is imperative, and we can't thank you enough. And you guys were leaders of this program and great examples and mentors for them and our community. So thank you. But Mr. Theodore Watts was an instructor, so you want to step out again so they can see you once again, and thank you. And Mr. Harrison Dixon III, instructor. I already got Dr. Dixon. Kimberly Warner, high school teaching assistant, high school student. Marquise McLaurin, teacher assistant. And I think that somebody really hit the nail on the head. Can you turn and face him? Marcus came through the Meadville Middle School, I believe ended up going to Cathedral Prep, correct? But is a person who's in this community, who is a leader, a mentor, and someone that these students can look up to. And I'm so grateful when she brought him into this program, because these are the great young men that we need to lead our students and to impact and show them the way, because he's a great example of a leader and somebody who has character and who's doing well for himself and is going to continue to do well for himself. So thank you, Marcus. Mrs. Sue Buttigieg is with ACCG. She had to just leave, so we thank her. She was a behavior consultant. Mr. John Amato, who could not be with us here today. Ms. Autumn Vogel, Meadville City Council, who had to step away. Reverend Sarah Roncolato, she's on the advisory board. She had to step away. And we also want to thank Meadville Tribune for all their coverage and what they do for us. We'd also like to thank the Crawford Central School District, Mr. Washington, the school board, as well as the Allegheny College. It's a collaborative effort, and the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship, Junior Scholarship as well. And we'd also like to thank Armstrong Cable for their continued coverage and their support. Kevin Tomney, thank you. And Ryan Keeby. So we want to thank you. Earlier, Jet TV was here. We want to thank Chelsea Swift and Graham Sindelar. And we also want to thank our ladies from nutrition who are over there still waiting for our great brunch that we had today. And I'd also like to extend thank you to Hubbard Bus. A lot of organization and planning that goes into this to get the kids to and from school during the day, as well as these field trips. So again, I want to thank everybody, and thank you for your attendance. This is fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lynch. The summer blast has indeed become one of our most memorable experiences. To turn this chapter in our lives, we ask Mrs. Hilliard to bring the closing. Before you leave, feel free to take any leftovers home. There are containers on the table. Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Wow, what a celebration. What a joyous occasion this is. So I'm going to send you out some words. We want to celebrate today and every day and give thanks for every student here. Thank you to each one that is unique and is learning and is brimming with potential. Thank you all for leading them and help keeping them safe and guiding them. We pray that we all, the proudness that we feel today and the love we feel today will continue, and we will enjoy sharing their achievements with the family and friends. And may today be a memory that burns bright within them and us as they embark on life's great adventure. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Hilliard. All right. Again, remember about the leftovers, and they are on the table. Containers are on the table if you want to take leftovers home. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and have a great year.